Hey guys, how's it going? Kripparrian here. Today I want to review some of the cards that have been custom made. These are not real cards, and as a result, well, they're not particularly well balanced. Most of them are going to come from me, and the ones that don't come from me either come from Hearthstone. They have a lot of the contests for who can create the coolest cards every now and then, and some of them are from custom Hearthstone Reddit, where just people post their own finest creations on Reddit, and a lot of the others are from the top gallery of Hearth cards, which is basically the engine that people use to create custom cards in Hearthstone. All the links are in the description if you guys are curious. And, why do I want to do this? Why do I want to go over some of the cool creations that a lot of the community has come up with? Well, right now we are in the very excitable pre-expansion, give me any kind of news you possibly can, Blizzard, moment of Hearthstone, and people really are very excited or very anxious to see what kind of new cards we can expect to see in the next set. And literally, I don't have any information on this, by the way, but literally any day now, Blizzard could send out the info package on what the next expansion would have. And we've had so many cool things come out of League of Explorers, the Discover mechanic with just really wild but very well structured and balanced cards that Blizzard has really raised the bar on the quality of cards they're willing to put into the game. And with the new formats coming into place, the excitement really is insane. And to further that, I wanted to show you guys some of these examples, just, see some cool ideas and get excited about what could be in the world of Hearthstone soon to come. So first I'm going to go over my creations. My creations are a bit more standard than some of the creations I've seen other people make because, I just find it kind of funny in some way to alter some of the cards that are already in the game. Some of them have very cool mechanics, but others don't, and it's fun to punish those, and it's just a lot of fun. So here you go. This is the card I tweeted a couple days ago just to get you guys excited about this type of video. The Big Game Hunter. This guy hunts big game hunters, so his battle cry destroys big game hunter and he summons the minion that died from its battle cry. So not only is this really cool because, if you're playing big minions and you absolutely loathe the big game hunter, which, well, you do, which is why you generally don't play big minions to begin with, you can get your big minion back. And you can even run big game hunters. You can big game hunter your opponent's big minion and then big game hunter your big game hunter in order to resummon the minion that your big game hunter killed on your side of the board. Yep, pretty wild stuff. Of course, it's horribly balanced, but it's really cool to poke fun at some of these cards. And then I had Houndmaster. This guy, I edited the art a little bit as well. He's got his own Houndmaster army, and his battle cry is to give a friendly Houndmaster +2/+2 when charge. This is kind of like, working, just like the previous card, working off of specific cards in the game. And, some people have a bit of criticism towards this type of strategy with card design, which is basically warranted. It's a very narrow type of use in a card, but Hearthstone is that type of game. Hearthstone is a game where, you can have a card that's take control of a haunted creeper. You could actually have a card like that, and it would see a reasonable amount of play if these stats were pretty decent. Because, some of the cards in Hearthstone are so ridiculously wildly used that it is acceptable, maybe not ideal, but acceptable to have direct counters to them. So Houndmaster is the opposite of that. It buffs a specific card, and that kind of works in a decent way because the stats are pretty good, and you can, if you're playing a slower mid-range hunter, you can Houndmaster your Houndmaster and give it charge, and then you get basically 6 charge damage out of that, plus whatever. If you had a beast already in play, you can get a little bit more burst from that. So you get minion burst, developed board burst, and I think that's actually a pretty good way to actually have burst in the game rather than multi-spell burst that you can't react with at all. Then we have Recombobulator. You can try saying that if you want. I love Recombobulator in Hearthstone, and I think the effect should belong to more cards. So I basically gave him a Hadouken and changed up the art a little bit. It's 5 mana, 5/4, because the effect is pretty powerful. Transform all minions on the battlefield in both hands and both decks into random minions with the same cost. Now, while this is obviously extreme, this is obviously never going to be a card, but the thing I kind of thought was really awesome was that what Hearthstone's really missing is card replacement, like transform effects that occur on cards that have not yet been played. And the reason that's really important is because if you have these type of effects, you suddenly can make combos very powerful. And this would act as the counter. So if there was like a super crazy minion combo, as we may have had with Grim Patron somewhat recently, you could play a card like this to just completely ruin that. But you wouldn't completely ruin that in like a bad way. You'd basically just give them random stuff. You give yourself random stuff, and everything will be totally random, and you just wouldn't know what your next draw would be. It would punish a specific type of deck, but it would create a very amazing game environment. And with Hearthstone, with the rules that it has set up, it is actually possible to accomplish this. And I really hope they do have some type of mechanic like this eventually. Then I made Hungrier Crab. Hungrier Crab is pretty good, but what if your opponent is playing a lot of Murlocs? I kind of wanted to expand on, just the satire involved in just making version of cards, and also I think card removal from the deck, again, I wanted to feature it a little bit in this one. It wouldn't be as powerful against the Murloc deck to actually remove the cards, but it might be because Murlocs, often you don't have too many of them in one deck, and you need very strong support, either through buffs, board clears, or, taunt minions. But if that's a little bit out of balance, you can actually get a pretty big favor. Plus, well, I guess this guy could be a monstrous minion on 2 mana if he gobbles up 5 Murlocs. Yep. Hungrier Crab, boys. And I made the grandest Crusader. Grand Crusader is all right, but it's not quite overpowered enough to see some play. But the mechanic was really cool to just get random paladin cards, because sometimes you get like a secret, sometimes you get like a legendary, and the game changes in such a vast way when this happens. So I like that effect, and I wanted to basically get more out of the effect. The battlecry adds random paladin cards to both hands until they are full. And this actually has the side effect that it mills your opponent 1 card, because when you play this on your turn, then your opponent would have 10 cards, and his next draw would then be nullified. So you can kind of counterplay against combo decks, but of course it's blatantly, absurdly overpowered if you're playing an aggressive paladin deck, because, well, you're going to play out all your aggressive minions, you're going to combo this with like a 1-drop on 10 mana if you do actually make it to that stage in the game, and you'll have basically 10 cards drawn. Well, 9, because then you would mill yourself as well on the following turn. But yeah, doesn't seem too bad. Seems pretty cool. And then I made Zerg Up. You guys know I love like the gang up style, the basically the mill style and the fatigue style of Hearthstone decks, and that seems to be going away from standard, so I thought we could reintroduce it in a very fun way. And Zerg Up not only allows you to play fatigue or mill style decks with Rogue, because you'd have so many more cards in your deck than your opponent. Shuffle 3 copies of your hand into your deck is pretty sweet. But the idea is that with Miracle Rogue potentially making a comeback, you could make like a Miracle Sustain Rogue. It's really fun to play 1,000,000 spells every turn with Auctioneers in play, but the one downside with doing that is eventually you run out of cards. Well, you solve both problems with Zerg Up. Let's make it happen, Blizzard. Then I made the Disruptor. This is just like an original card. This is obviously blatantly overpowered once again, but it's a mechanic that I kind of think should exist in Hearthstone and doesn't yet. So it's a battle cry, and your opponent must use their hero power before taking any other action. You guys know ordering is usually very important in Hearthstone, and with a card like this, it has kind of like a combo breaker effect. Because, Standard's not going to have cards like Loatheb, unless Blizzard does something extravagant with it. we're kind of missing these tools to stop combos, to stop specific cards from killing us on the following turn. So I really feel this is a good way to take it, because this ability is just cool. It's not always a bad idea to hero power, but if you have control over when you make your opponent hero power, that can have a ton of value, but at some stages in the game it might be completely useless. So there's going to be a lot of strategy involved in this card. There's going to be a lot of like play and counterplay, and okay, the card is blatantly overpowered in an aggro deck, because you play this on turn 3 and then they have to hero power on turn 3, then they're screwed. Okay, but you get the idea. Make it happen. And the last card on my list is Professor Putricide. Basically, I wanted, Crazed Alchemist, but I wanted the craziest of the craziest of the crazed alchemists. And I thought I'd just make Professor Putricide. Swap heroes and hero powers with your opponent. And I made it 6 mana, so you could hero power swap and then use your opponent's hero power. And I think this has a very good effect, because in a lot of situations, your opponent has a deck that synergizes very well with his hero power, or your hero power is no longer very good in the later stages of the game. So if you're playing like a Warlock and you're going to close to fatigue, giving your opponent Warlock hero power might really suck for them. So that would be really awesome for you. And yeah. Again, I really hope some of these things go through. Now, some of the user critic cards that you guys made, I had 10 of them here. I'm just going to run through them quickly here. There's a lot of them that had to do with Discover mechanics. Discover is just such an awesome mechanic from League of Explorers, so no doubt about that. We have a Murloc here that Discover affects Discover Murlocs instead. This obviously works with both players, which can be a very wild factor. Unminer was one of my favorite ones that I've seen. Discover uncollectible cards. Genius, really, to have this type of mechanic, because there's so many cards in this category that are so wild and so obscure that they really should be in some way introduced into gameplay. Then this is one of the highest rated cards on Hearth cards. Gnomish Lockpicker. Combo to discover a card from your opponent's deck, and because you get 3 options, you actually get to kind of see what their deck is all about. Plus, you don't get screwed on the stats. You get an additional card in your hand. It's just overall a really good, really balanced card, except probably for Arena. I think it'd be a little bit broken in Arena. It'd probably have to be upgraded to a rare. Sleepy Bear. Just a cool card that I loved. 1 mana, 3/3, can't attack and rage. Can attack as normal. I think the game needs a lot more cards like these, because they're just cool, and the obscure situations that they are good in are just usually awesome. Then we have Mana Channeler. I really love this mechanic that this user decided to put on his card. 4 mana, 3/5. At the end of your turn, deal your unspent mana crystals as damage, randomly split between all enemies. Perfectly worded too. Look at that. And yeah, I really love to see these type of mechanics that have to do with triggers from unused mana crystals. It'll make more late game cards out of mid-range minions, which ups control deck's consistency and really value in any metagame. Ambush is a spell with deal 3 damage, and it costs 0 if you control a stealth minion. So I don't think the card is too great particularly, but it has a really interesting concept that you want to have specific cards work off of specific minions that you otherwise wouldn't want to play, to kind of bring out like a lower tier type of card into the metagame. Then Lucknahak, a really cool legendary, a really cool guy in World of Warcraft. I spent tons of hours trying to tame this on my hunter in World of Warcraft. Obviously, completely broken, but I love the mechanic. Attack resets. Whenever this card destroys a minion, it can attack once again, and it has a charge. So you can clear a whole bunch of small minions separately, individually at your disposal. And this is, again, a mechanic that's very, very unique and kind of necessary against some of the decks in the past. Animate totems. Make use of the shaman hero power in a big way rather than a small way, which is what we've seen in the past. I'd love to see something that transformed totems into something much more useful than they are. And I think this is probably my favorite one. Trapper's Rifle. 2 mana, 4/1. It's a weapon. It's kind of a piece of crap weapon, but your opponent views this weapon as a secret. And that just blows me away. It puts the secret theme completely out there. You have no idea what secret you're trying to play around. And that's kind of the fun aspect of secrets. Plus, it's just a really cool card as a whole. And then we have Warlord Zanaz, so it's a 7-mana legendary. Choose a minion, add a 1/1 face one of the same abilities to your hand, and it gives a few examples there to see how it works. There's a lot of people who put a lot of work into like very, very elaborate legendaries, but I thought this is a pretty clever one and a pretty cool one that could actually have a lot of combo effects that I would really love to see. And of course, as a bonus one, flip the table. If you've been screwed by random effects 3 times this game, declare a tie. This is the card we've all been waiting for. Let's make it happen. Overall, it's been great to see some of the creations that, constantly are pumped out there by the community. Hearthstone's a great game, but Hearthstone is the game it is today because of you guys, because of your input on it, because of your wild ideas, because of your comments. Everything the community does makes Hearthstone what it is, and I hope in some way I have incorporated that in this video today. And well, there's good reason to be excited about upcoming future cards as well. So hope those will be just as awesome, or maybe more awesome than the ones we went over today. Hope you guys enjoy my review, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.